Yo guys, Features Gaming here, welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we are back on SCR, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I don't think people have made before. I am going to be rating SCR stations. Other YouTubers I've seen have done ranking them, however I'm just going to be rating them, and today I'm going to be doing all of the Connect stations. Just one difference though that you can see from these videos from previous Roblox videos is that there's no face cam, because I thought for a video like this there doesn't really need to be a face cam for this sort of video, and just so you can see the entire station as well, and you know, my face cam could be covering some stuff. So let's get started with the first one. So if we go to passenger and then we go to the Connect operator, I'm basically going to be going from the top and then basically rating all of these stations down to Lynn By The Sea. So let's start at Willowfield. So let's go ahead and spawn in at Willowfield and let's have a look. So as you can see, there is this Willowfield like sign here, a lovely roof over the top of the station, a lovely entrance as well, a lovely little like waiting area for, you know, waiting for your train. And then obviously over here you have the platforms, 3 platforms in total here at Willowfield. Platforms 1, 2 and 3 with some very nice buffers there that, you know, kind of coming in before, you know, the edge of the platform. It's, you know, otherwise it would be something like, you know, Lynn By The Sea or, you know, Stepford Central, for example, where the buffer literally stops at the end of the platform. A very nice little detailed station as well. Not really much more to add. A lovely little fancy roof over the top as well. And obviously the all of the platforms go down to a suitable length, suitable to fit the 171, or the 717, sorry, the 6-car train on Connect. And a lovely little depot over there, a few shops as well, a nice little train there, well actually a few trains actually. So yeah, I'd say Willowfield, a good station. I would give it a rating of possibly a 7.5 out of 10. Next up on the list is Helens Park. As you can see here, we've got a lovely little sort of waiting area here, waiting for your trains. It's a little bit, you know, kind of short for my liking and a little bit too, you know, like claustrophobic I would feel if I was actually at this station in real life. We've got the home of Helens Park Rangers, which I'm guessing is a football team. But as you can see, once again, it is a, you know, a fairly decent platform. I don't think this train can fit in the 717, the 6-car train, but it is still a good, you know, a good station nonetheless. Obviously, 2 platforms here at Helens Park, 1, 2 with a lovely little bridge bypass to access both stations. So yeah, again, a pretty good park, although I do have to give it a bit of a oops. I'm going to have to knock down the rating a little bit because of the size of this waiting area, which I don't like to do, but it has to be done. So I'm going to give Helens Park a rating of probably a 5.5 out of 10, maybe getting closer to a 6. Next is at Beachley. So as you can see, we've got a lovely little sign over here and a lovely little sort of like underground type station thing here for Beachley. And as you can see, we've got the scan things and stuff. We've got a nice lift that you can't even use. I really wish you could use these lifts like in the future. It'll make it so much better for like roleplay or something like that. But as you can see, we go up to the station. We've got 4 platforms here in total. Platforms 1, 2, 3 and also 4. 3 being a terminating platform, and so is number 4 as well. Platforms 1 and 2 are the through platforms. And I must say, I do kind of like this design. I don't like it being like super open though. I mean, for me, I really wish, you know, it was a bit more undercover. But obviously, I get that, you know, Beachley is kind of like a through station. It's not, you know, so much like a terminating thing. The same thing went for Helens Park as well. So I would probably give Beachley maybe a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5, around that area. So yeah, for Beachley, I'm probably going to go for a 6 out of 10. Stepford Victoria up next, as you can see, which has a little bit of a weird entrance, I must say. Like, I don't see why the glass just stops here. And then for that matter, why does the glass even need to be like there? Why not just end it on there? I see a little bit of unrealism for me. Like, if I was designing the station, I would probably put supports here and then maybe a few more like around the thing, because for me, I don't really see how a building like this would be supported. Like, I mean, I'm just talking about realism. I don't see how, you know, an like a station thing would be supported by just, you know, the connections to the wall and these things inside of the station as well. I don't see how this would be supported. That's the only thing I would say. Yes, I know that, you know, nothing's being pressurized on this, but I'm pretty sure the vibrations from the trains coming into the station, you know, would, you know, shake the entire thing. But as I said, this is just talking about realism. I'm probably going to go, you know, I'm probably way overthinking this. I'm mainly, you know, thinking about like realism, like if these were like real life stations, and not so much, you know, the cosmetics of the station. But the cosmetically wise, yeah, it is pretty good. I'm just trying to think of, you know, realism as well. But as you can see, this kind of like pathway actually does reach the edge of the thing, which does look pretty cool as well. And then obviously if you walk over here, you also have the station as well, which consists of 6 platforms. And as you can see, these are the buffers that pretty much go towards the end of the platform as well, and not like at Willowfield as we saw. Obviously, no through stations at Stepford Victoria. It is a terminating station. Like the fact that it's undercovered. I do like the kind of like cover thing. You know, the platforms 6 and 1 kind of give it like a you know, well, say for example, you know, like a Lynn terminating thing. You know, the low roof design. And yeah, I think in total it looks pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's, you know, like fully detailed compared to other stations, so I would say my rating for Stepford Victoria would probably be a 7 out of 10. Now we move on to financial quarter. It was upgraded in version 1.8, as you can see, a little sign there. I'd never even seen that thing there. That could be actually a pretty decent thing to possibly climb in an SCR stream. Anyway, moving on. To me, it looks a little bit weird. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't really see, you know, why there would be, like, why this whole entire thing would be open, like, just access to, like, go up to the platforms and stuff like that, like, just completely open. As I don't really feel that would be, you know, sort of realistic, as such. But as you can see, we've got a few ticket things here and nice information board, tickets here and stuff like that. Over here obviously would then, you know, go ahead and, you know, look over the lake and stuff, as financial quarter is on top of a lake. But as you can see, it is a pretty decent station, I would say. Not probably fully detailed, you know, compared to other stations, but I think from what what financial quarter was in 1.7, and then, you know, what they did then upgrade it to in 1.8, I think it is a pretty good upgrade. But again, I might have to drop down the rating because it's not super detailed. And for a rating of financial quarter, I would probably give it another 7 out of 10 like Stepford Victoria, maybe getting closer to a 7.5. Next up is City Hospital. Now, I will be honest, I'm not really a fan of City Hospital, if I am going to be completely honest. The station doesn't really seem to be majorly upgraded, in all honesty. Like, there's no sort of, like, you know, things on the station. However, I do like the scenery surrounding the station, though, to some extent. But yeah, the station for me doesn't really do it justice. Obviously, there's a welcome to Stepford City Hospital. I'm guessing that is the hospital building then. And, you know, again, like a pretty bland, you know, underground thing, I would say, within, you know, obviously the destination board. I wouldn't see, you know, kind of this station being like a favorite to anyone. So unfortunately, City Hospital, you're probably gonna get a 3 out of 10 rating for me. And after that, we move on to probably one of the biggest stations in SCR, Stepford Central. As you can see, a really big board there of the map, which I actually really like. But yeah, this station is very detailed, I must say. You know, from just all of this, you know, like kind of like the shop vibe and stuff like that. Nice destination board, multiple entrances. I really like Stepford Central, I would say. Obviously over here we have access to the Airlink platforms. Over here there's a nice lounge as well, which is very nice, with even a working piano, but I'm not going to play on it because copyright reasons. And then obviously you have you know, the overpass to go on to platforms, or just the connect platforms, which is the ones that we are looking at. And as you can see, a very nice, thing here. It kind of does give me sort of like a King's Cross vibe, but obviously it's more based off London Waterloo. But yeah, I would say still a good station as well, with, a lovely little kind of like waiting area up here as well, which is really nice, but obviously not really that used in all honesty. And, some shopping areas as well here, which has to bump up the rating a little bit, due to they, thought about this. However, I don't really get why there's trees grown inside of a mall. Yeah, I do find that a little bit weird. We can't really drop down ratings just because of that. But a lovely little, like, lift access thing here as well, like escalator thing. So Stepford Central, I'm going to say probably getting close to a 9.5, but I'll probably just stay with a steady 9 out of 10 for Stepford Central. Now another good station, Stepford East, obviously another station that was semi-upgraded in 1.8. The reason why I say semi-upgraded was because, well, kind of like financial cause here, it wasn't, fully overhauled. It was mainly just, the underground bit, or the, waiting area, and a bit, obviously, of the overground. But, like, in terms of the actual station placement and, like, how it looks, not really much difference. So, obviously, Stepford East consisting of 8 platforms, 4 being Connect, 4 being Airlink, and obviously some passing things there as well for the express trains. But yeah, I think Stepford East is a pretty good station. Overall, I mean, yes, it is very detailed, I must say. The lights really make this station, really makes it look really cool at night. In terms of, though, of actually, like, looking at it, like, in terms of, being up here, like, in terms of, like, decorations and stuff like that, there isn't really that many things. However, I do like, the sort of, like, boards that tell you, what to, what's where and stuff like that. And I kind of like the next train boards as well. I kind of like that. I like the seating area for people who want to role play, and obviously the actual station itself, or the thing down here, pretty good, as well. But again, not really fully detailed, I would say. But yeah, Stepford East, really good station to dispatch at, and Stepford East, I would say I'll probably give maybe an 8 out of 10. The next one is Stepford High Street. Again, I think another station that was upgraded in 1.8, which does now include a kind of like enclosed part of the station, because before this it was literally just the station, enter, up onto the platform. So I do like how they've added a sort of like mini waiting area here that's with full of glass, which I kind of really enjoy. Obviously, multiple entrances for this as well, but obviously you can only spawn there. Nice ticket barriers as well before going onto the platform. Nice timetable boards as well. Well, obviously the timetable boards are, pretty much standard at every single station, but I like the placement of these. That's what I meant to say. Only 2 platforms, one of the curved platforms as well in the Stepford, just in the entirety of the game. And yeah, again, it's kind of like Stepford East, and there's not really much decoration going on the platforms, but again, it is a pretty good station to be at. Guarding, obviously, and dispatching here is probably a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, I'd say, in terms of maybe train spotting here, maybe, as long as you're getting trains that go, to the Whitefield branch, I would say probably a good station. But in terms of actually having to rate the station, again, because it's not really being detailed, I can't really give a too high a rating, but I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Continuing down the Whitefield branch, we are now here at Whitefield Lido, and I must say, this is another station that was massively upgraded in 1.8, and it is really good. It is a really good station. I actually really do enjoy Whitefield Lido, with these mini waiting areas. Again, a little bit claustrophobic for my liking. If I was actually, at the station, again, not really much decoration going on, but to be fair, I would, kind of see, Stepford, or Whitefield Lido being, sort of non-decorative station in real life, and, probably just, some seats and, lampposts probably do it justice. Again, probably another station that looks really cool at night. But as you can see, if we go down, there's Buffalo's Wings there. You got a nice bike rack there as well, which is really cool. A lovely little, bridge there as well that looks nice. Obviously Whitefield Lido with the swimming pool and things like that. That's a very good decoration thing there as well. Some ticket barriers over there, or ticket machines, not any ticket barriers here actually. But once again, this goes on to the next platform. Obviously no overpass, you know, in terms of getting to each station. You do have to, you know, sort of go down the steps and then go onto the other platform that way. But yeah, again, it's pretty good, pretty simplistic, but I kind of do actually kind of like the simplistic of Whitefield Lido. So Whitefield Lido for me, for a rating, I'll probably go for a 6.5 out of 10. Here we go for Stepford UFC. Once again, another major station that was upgraded in version 1.8. I kind of like this ticket, this timetable thing here as well. Very nice, with obviously, you know, a kind of like overhang thing there, which looks pretty cool. I'm guessing that would look really good at night as well. Really long stations now. Obviously, platforms 1 and 2 being the terminating stations, or the platforms 3 and 4 being the through passes, 4 platforms here in total. And yeah, I would say, you know, I kind of like, you know, the upgraded station. I think it's a lot more better than what it was. The football stadium obviously being over there. These little, you know, like kind of like waiting boxes as well. Quite decorative around the station. And then obviously there's this, I would say pretty massive bridge. Probably not needed, but looked pretty cool, I would say. But yeah, that, you know, will lead you onto different platforms as well. So yeah, Stepford UFC, another good station. My rating, I mean, it has to be up there. I would probably give it close to an 8, but I'd probably give it a 7.5. Next station is Woodhead Lane, as you can see here. Woodhead Lane being one of the major stations in the Stepford, or in the, you know, in Stepford Connect, obviously named after the man himself. Obviously, Charlie Woodhead, the person who created the game. As you can see, 2 platforms are consisted here, one over here and another station over there. To me, I don't really like how, you know, both the platforms are kind of like on different sides of the railroad crossing. I don't really see the need for that, in all honesty. So I'm probably going to have to drop down the rating for that as well, because I don't really like it. It's not really super detailed in terms of, you know, in terms of like decorative stuff as well. Not really many seats as well. I mean, they wouldn't really expect there to be many seats at Woodhead Lane. But again, if I had to pick a rating, I'd probably go for maybe a 7 out of 10, similar to Whitefield Lido. Hooten Rake now. Yeah, to me, I'm not really a massive fan of Hooten Rake, in all honesty. It doesn't really stand out as a station for me. But yeah, 2 platforms, maybe a good place, you know, to do some train spotting once again, like at Stepford High Street. If you get loads of trains, then probably a very good station to train spot at. You know, again, another, you know, pretty good station to dispatch at, once again, if you are getting some decent trains. But for me, it's not really a station I like particularly. So if I had to pick I mean, I like the tunnel over there, don't get me wrong, you know, there are some aspects of Hooten Rake that I do like, but just as a station for me, it doesn't really stand out. So I would say a rating for me, probably a 5 out of 10. And the final station on the Whitefield branch is Whitefield itself. So I do kind of like, you know, what they upgraded this to in 1.8, you know, with this, you know, lovely glass overhang that has, you know, some some shops here, which looked really cool. Again, you know, with the barriers as well, it looked really cool. It looks very modern, I would say. And as you can see, if we go out onto the platform, you can see how there is a train there. They also upgraded this a little bit in 1.8.3, I think, as well, because before it was just 3. If I am thinking of the right station, there was, you know, 3 platforms here, and that train was, you know, just stood on this platform. I do kind of like how they've kind of moved out of the way. I would say I kind of like that change, because it did seem a little bit weird, you know, there being a train just like in the middle of like a platform, and like it does look like out of place, like how are you even supposed to get to it for starters. But yeah, I do kind of like how they've moved that train out of the way, and you know, so it's not actually being used. But another station obviously consists of three platforms. Sorry, I nearly said four. Obviously 1, 2, and 3, or vice versa. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And yeah, again, another pretty detailed station. I would say it's slightly decorative. Obviously, the shops here as well. Pizza by Billy, Nevergreen. That's it. Nevergreen. I mean, there's got to be some like context to that, but I can't really put my finger on it. Matty Studios studio is there, whatever that is, and TJ Hughes as well. But yeah, pretty good station, I would say. A lovely little car park as well there. As a station rating, it's up there, I would say, but I'm probably going to have to give it maybe a 7.5, close to an 8 out of 10, I would say. And here we are now at St. Helens Bridge. As you can see, I kind of really like this kind of like start area thing, the waiting area. Obviously a lovely, a lovely station, in terms of, the building. Obviously we've got platforms 2 to 7 over here that lead over there. The platform 1 access over here, as you can see, that leads nicely onto platform 1. As said, 7 stations here at St. Helens Bridge. We'll go over to platforms 7 or platforms 2 to 7. Nice timetable locations as well. I don't really like how kind of like this walkway thing is, a little bit bland. Like there's not really much decorating things going on. I would like to see maybe some seats and maybe some, posters or something like that to give it a bit more of a, an alive vibe rather than, sort of like just, grey walls and some lights. Again, the same thing down here. Not really much decorative stuff down here. Timetable locations as well that let you know of the timetables. But in terms of the actual station, I would say it's pretty detailed. Obviously, platform 1 being that building. A little bit low ceiling as well, but again, I don't really think there's going to be people that are going to be entering the station which are like 8 foot tall, so I really don't think it matters. So yeah, I'd say in terms of the actual station itself, it's really good, but obviously the underneath of the station, like getting between the different platforms, I don't really like it, being so bland. So St. Helens Bridge, a rating for me, you're probably going to get a 7 out of 10. Still many stations to rate, but here we are at New Harrow. So as you can see, a nice little station if you're going over to like the Morgantown area. So again, a nice simplistic, simple station. It looks pretty cute. Yeah, again, I would say, not the most detailed station in the world. Obviously the through pass is there for, some express trains or, connect trains that aren't stopping here. But as you can see, in terms of the actual station itself, yes, there are, some decorative aspects, as such as like this fence and stuff like that. Some seats and, some off indicators as well for, like the dispatches and stuff like that. If you can even dispatch a New Harrow. Can you dispatch a New Harrow? I completely forgot. Some lights as well on platform 1 and platform 2. So yeah, I would say a good little station. New Harrow as a rating, you're probably gonna get maybe a 7, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Next up is Ellesmere Pond, and I would say a little bit of a weird entrance, I would say. I don't really get the entrance to it. The station itself doesn't really stand out as such. I mean, it is a good little station, but I would expect a station to, kind of stand out. This station's kind of a little bit out the way, as it were, not really in, the heart of a busy town like Stepford. There's only a small village here, and, the station's kind of outside of it. I don't know if that's just me, but that's how I just think about it. Obviously, again, some quite wide platforms, consisting of 2 platforms, a nice little kind of waiting thing area there as well. But as a whole, Ellesmere Pond, you're probably gonna get maybe a 5 out of 10 rating for me. And just further up the line, we are now here at Ellesmere Junction, another major station that was upgraded in 1.8. And I do have to say, I kind of like what they've done to Ellesmere Junction. I would say I do like the neon text here. I really like that. I don't know if that's just because I like neon lighting. I don't know, but I really do like that. A little bit of a weird, sort of station design is in terms of there's nothing behind these pillars or something. It just looks a little bit weird to me. But obviously down here, going to platforms 1, As you can see down here, obviously there is 4 platforms. Yeah, 4 platforms here at Ellesmere Junction. 1, 2, 3, and then also 4 on that side. Obviously, platform 1 being here. I don't know why, but I just thought maybe this was maybe going to be a signaling desk. I don't know. But then I remembered, oh wait, no, because there's no signaling desk there at all. But yeah, as you can see, quite a nice little station. The station design itself, to me, can get a little bit, confusing, especially, when you're dispatching here. You're attending a train on platform 1, and then, you need to quickly go to a train on platform 4. I think you saw it in the dispatching video. I literally had to run all the way up here to then go up this set of stairs, to then go back over here, all the way over here, down these stairs, and then I would have to get into position. The station design itself, kind of doesn't really make sense, to be like that, confusing. But, I mean, I kind of like, that they're trying something new. I kind of like sort of the size of the station, I would say. But as a station, like, trying to be, like an efficient station in terms of, like, dispatching and stuff like that, I wouldn't really see it being, like, super efficient. But as, as a station itself, for a nice little rating, I kind of like Ellesmere Junction, I would say. I think it's probably up there with some of my favorite stations. So Ellesmere Junction, for a rating, you're probably going to get an 8 out of 10 for me. And now we arrive at a very prestigious station, Beachley. So I do kind of like, the entrance thing. Yeah, I mean, it does seem, a little bit, kind of like normal, I guess, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's just because I've been to Beachley, a few times, well, not been to Beachley, per se, but like, yeah, because it's not been updated for a while, it can seem a little bit, sort of like repetitive, that you're kind of at the same thing. But yeah, timetable thing there, a nice little barrier or ticket barrier thing here, and the stations themselves, again, pretty good. I wouldn't say it's Stepford Central, Stepford East type, thing, but I would say, still pretty good to say, for a Beachley station. 4 platforms, once again, platform 1 being a bay platform, 2, 3, and 4 being through platforms. So yeah, well, all in all, a good little station, but for a rating, I would probably have to give Beachley close to an 8 out of 10, I would say. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I'll give Beachley an 8 out of 10. And now we are here at East Beachley, which is obviously just, a little bit further down the line than Beachley. So yeah, a little bit of a, interesting entrance, I would say, to the station. But once again, a good little station nonetheless. Not really that decorative, but still, a little station. I would say, maybe rating has to come down a little bit, but I kind of like, sort of like the cosmetic style of the station. I don't know why. So probably East Beachley, I'll probably give you a 7.5 out of 10. Not too bad off your main station. We now arrive at Beachley Park. I don't know why, when you spawn in, it spawns you there. I really think the spawn should be about here, which is, pretty close to the station. And yeah, the station is, a little bit, kind of like packed with stuff. It's not that big. It's kind of, a little bit contained. Nice little waiting area. I like how they've kind of, like utilized the space a little bit. So I would say Beachley Park, probably a good station. I don't know why, but I kind of just like East Beachley a bit better. So Beachley Park, maybe you're on par with East Beachley. So once again, I'll give you a 7.5 out of 10. No station has been a 10 as of yet, but can Morgantown make me change my mind? As you can see here, I really like this kind of like overhang thing. I don't know why, I just really like, the sort of sense of, like coming in, like it gives you a sort of like den feel. I don't know why, like you walk in here and then you kind of feel like you're in the station like already when you're not technically in the station. I don't know why, like it kind of gives me like that sort of like den feel. But nice timetable, obviously boards out here as well, which look really nice. You got a few shops here as well. You got Morty's, Manga, Frosted Flakes, Ticket Office, Stee's Steak, HV's, whatever that says, and Ryan's Ramen. Consists of how many stations? 6, 7? I think it's it's supposed to be 6 stations, but there's multiple like platforms, if that makes sense. So, you know, a pretty decent amount of platforms, obviously serving all other operators. I kind of like the terms of like actual station design a little bit. Not massively detailed, so maybe that might knock down the rating, but you know, a good station. I would maybe give, you know, Morgantown maybe 8.5, maybe just an 8. I'm thinking 8.5, you know, yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I'll give Morgantown an 8.5. And now we are here at Angel Pass, another station that hasn't really been updated for a while, and if so, I don't really see any difference, to be fair. So again, a not really so detailed platform or station. I mean, I do like the bridge stuff, and I do kind of like this little overhang pass, but it does seem pretty basic to me. So I mean, no one even uses this entrance, so I don't even know why that is even an entrance. But yeah, Angel Pass, not really a favourite. I'll probably have to give Angel Pass maybe a 6 out of 10. On to Bowden now. So once again, another good little station, I would say. Nice ticket barriers and ticket things here. So yeah, we go through there. A nice timeline board thing there of, you know, the upcoming trains. Entrance down into the station. 3 stationed, if that even makes sense. A 3 station, no, a 3 platform station, that's what I meant to say. Pretty long station. You can definitely fit in the 6 car, you know, 717 train here. So yeah, pretty good station. I do kind of like, I mean, for me, I kind of see, you know, where stations might use decorative stuff and not. For Bowden, I wouldn't really kind of think of this station to have much, you know, decorative, you know, compared to like other stations. Like, I would expect other stations to have decorations, but for Bowden, I kind of think no, if that makes any sense. Like, I just think of that. But yeah, I do kind of like how they have, you know, just like chucked, you know, like plants in, for example, you know, absolutely everywhere. But you know, other, you know, stations, you know, could benefit from, you know, having some, you know, decorative stuff there. But Bowden, I'd say pretty good station. It's maybe a little bit too open for my liking, but Bowden, for a rating, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10, maybe 6.5. And we are now here at Coxley, as you can see. Again, a pretty basic station design for my liking. Obviously, I kind of like the timetable board here being there. Ticket barriers here as well. A bit of a short and very, you know, short and narrow kind of like bridge that goes down to the station. Obviously, the depot looks pretty cool. The stations are okay, but I wouldn't really say it's one of my favorites. So Coxley, maybe a 4.5 out of 10 for me. The next station on the list is obviously the massive Benton, obviously based off Birmingham New Street, the new station, I think. Yeah, that is the new station, isn't it? If it isn't, then I do massively apologize. Kind of gives you, again, like a sort of, you know, like King's Cross feeling, you know, where you come in and, you know, you're in the waiting room waiting for your train, but obviously it's not based off Lynn, or based off King's Cross. Obviously we'll get to Lynn later on in the video. But yeah, timetable service thing board here, whatever it is, again, pretty cool. Like this ticket machine thing as well with a ticket office. Nice elevator, but again, you can't even use it. And then obviously, you know, you go up here and you can access all of the different shops and stuff as well, which I kind of like a little bit as well. Obviously, 3 entrances you can have at Benton. You have the main entrance, one over there, and then obviously another one over here. And then 13 platforms here at Benton. I think this is the station that consists of the most platforms at one station, which again, you know, pretty good. Maybe you know, more platforms than needed, maybe. I mean, obviously it does serve, you know, Waterline Connect Express, not Airlink. Airlink doesn't stop at Benton. But yeah, maybe a few more platforms than they actually need. But yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know why, but whenever I'm at Benton, I kind of get like a sort of like London Underground vibe. I don't know why. But yeah, a pretty good station. maybe a little bit too, you know, detailed, or not really detailed, but kind of like big for my liking. So probably I'll have to give Benton a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. And now we are here at Port Benton. Again, another station that was upgraded in 1.8, and I must say it's a lot better than what Port Benton did look like. So immediate, you know, improvement of my rating. Again, another, you know, kind of like short, you know, narrow bridge. Again, I'm not really a too fan of that. You know, you keep banging your head on the top of the thing when coming down the stairs. If this was the old Port Benton, then I'd probably give it like an immediate like 4 or 3 out of 10. Like, honestly, that's how bad I did not like Port Benton. But in 1.8, I would say they spiced things up a little bit, and I think it's, you know, getting towards, you know, a 7, but I'll probably give it a 6.5 out of 10 as of now. Benton Bridge up next, which is just over the bridge of where Benton is over there. So once again, another cute little station. Again, I was, you know, a station that kind of not really kind of catches my eye. A 4-station platform, as you can see. It's a little bit like kind of narrow for me. Like, it's not really the perfect size for me, but obviously, you know, I can't really just judge the station off size. But yeah, again, as I said, you know, cute little station. It's not really that detailed, so I'll probably give this station maybe a 5.5 out of 10, maybe getting close to a 6, but I just don't feel it deserves a 6 in my opinion, so probably a 5.5 out of 10 for Benton Bridge. Airport Parkway is up next, so once again, a nice little sort of station here. I kind of like the sort of like oval thing of this bridge. Obviously, I don't really see, you know, the necessity of it, but it is a very cool design. Again, another kind of like small platforms and stuff like that. Again, another station that consists of 4 platforms. Yeah, 4 platforms. Some being, well, actually all of them being through platforms. None of them are terminating ones. But yeah, again, it's not really, you know, too high for me. Like, I wouldn't really see the station being a realistic station. As a rating, I kind of like how it's themed more around Airlink rather than Connect. So for a rating, I'll probably give it maybe a 7 out of 10, getting closer to a 7.5. Airport Central now, another station that consists of many platforms. I think 6 in total. 6 platforms. Let me just go ahead and double check that by going all the way over here. Is it 6 or 7? I actually cannot remember. 6 platforms. A few of them being terminating platforms, as few of them just being normal platforms. Actually, I think only really 2 of them are through platforms, which, you know, for the, I keep doing that. Obviously, the through platforms being for the Airlink trains that, you know, go onto the terminals and things like that. But as a station, oh my God, Fetch, stop doing that. But as a station itself, yes, it's a little bit too, I would say maybe kind of hectic. You know, there isn't really that much, you know, sort of in terms of like, you know, it actually looking good. You know, there's just, you know, many lights and grey walls, maybe a bit of color to it, because at the moment it kind of seems a little bit sort of bland. Like, there's not really much color. Like, it doesn't really look aesthetically pleasing, if that makes any sense. And then obviously, I don't know what this does, so that's weird. However, I find it hilarious how, if your character's small enough, you can literally just go out here, go down here, and they just walk underneath this thing. And then all you see is just someone just running around, you know, in the ground and, you know, things like that. I just find it hilarious. But, you know, as a station itself, probably you'll give it maybe a 6 rating, maybe 6 out of 10. I think Airport Central deserves a 6. Hampton Hargate now is the next station down from the list, and once again, you know, another, I overshot my jump. Again, another station that isn't, you know, that isn't like super detailed compared to other things. You know, a few little buildings here and there. At least it's more coloured than the last station, let's just say Airport Central. But yeah, obviously Express and Connect stop here. A nice little depot over there. So yeah, a station, you know, a nice little station. But again, not really a station that I did not even know you could glitch out of there. But again, you know, another station that I wouldn't really give a high rating for. So if we were to give a rating for this, I would probably give it Maybe the same as like Airport Central, maybe a 6, maybe getting close to a 6.5 out of 10. Upper Staplow now, one of the least served stations, if that makes sense, of the entire network. Once again, I mean, it's not really a very pleasing station, is it, in all honesty? You know, the waiting areas are nice. You know, I guess, you know, the trees kind of make up for it. But in like a very basic village, for Upper Staplow, I'm sorry, but maybe getting a 3.5 out of 10 for me. Waterloo next, another station that I guess was semi-upgraded in maybe, I think it was 1.8. But yeah, checker barriers here, a nice little waiting area, and then obviously down to the platforms, only serving Connect trains. Nice little curved platform as well. Again, another nightmare for dispatchers and guards. But once again, I say, you know, maybe there could be a bit more detail done to this station, but I think it is pretty good as it stands. So as a rating, I'd probably give it maybe a 6 to 6.5 out of 10. Rocket Parade now, I think once again another station that was updated in 1.8. As you can see, mostly Connect themed, as you can see from the kind of like handlebar things. And as you can see, another station that, you know, was massively upgraded compared to what it used to be. But yeah, again, maybe a bit too kind of like, you know, crowded for my liking, but you know, it is a nice little station. As a rating, you know, especially looking down that way, you know, with Bantech Systems in the background, over here is, you know, kind of a little bit weird. But if we're looking at, you know, at it this way, as a rating, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Leighton Stepford Road, another station that was massively upgraded in 1.8. As you can see, there's a nice little barrier here, a nice little timetable board thing, and a very nice waiting area, I must say. Very spacious Leighton Stepford Road when it was updated in 1.8. Consists of 6, no, not 6, wait, how many platforms? I actually have no idea how many platforms there is. What is it? All right, hold on. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it is 6 platforms. Okay, never mind. But as you can see, pretty decent station. Very detailed as well. So, you know, the rating is going to be quite high for this. If I had, you know, my rating would probably be maybe a bit more time to think. Maybe an 8. You know what? Let's give Leighton Stepford Road an 8 out of 10. Leighton City now, just up the line from Leighton Stepford Road, and as you can see, a pretty good station consisting of 6 platforms. Obviously, it's not as detailed as Leighton Stepford Road, but it is pretty good. And again, you know, Leighton City way better to what it used to be. You know, obviously Leighton City used to be that, you know, like weird underground station. I kind of like how they've made the station more overground now. Again, very detailed, I would say, you know, with a few of the platforms having this sort of like waiting area. So I'll probably give, you know, Leighton City a 7.5 out of 10. Leighton West now, just up the line, or well, no, it's completely separated off of Leighton City, but not too long to get here from Leighton City. One platform, you know, sort of thing here. However, I think this is sort of like a old sort of platform that used to be here, maybe not anymore. Again, the brand new station in 1.8. I'd say it's pretty good, maybe a little bit, you know, kind of like odd for my liking, but that's probably just because I'm not really into these sorts of stations. But in terms of actually having to give it a rating, I would probably give it maybe a 5.5 out of 10, I would say. Edgemead up next, another station that was once again upgraded a little bit in 1.8, but kind of keeps its, you know, kind of like classic 3 platform kind of vibe. You know, yes, it is, you know, updated to what it used to be, so probably bumps up the rating a little bit. But I wouldn't really say it's one of my favorite stations. If I had to give a rating, yes, it is very detailed, so that probably bumps it up, but I would probably give Edgemead maybe 6.5 to 7 out of 10, I would say. Around, you know, 6.5 to 7, I would say. The next station is Famir. Now, I must say, I kind of do like Famir for the train spotting kind of like aspect. Like, you get many trains coming through here, especially on busy servers. But the station itself, not really that detailed, is it? So For the station itself, I might give maybe a 4 out of 10, but I kind of like being at Fairmere to watch the trains go through for train spotting, so I kind of like that aspect, but kind of maybe for the actual station itself, I think a 4. I think maybe a 4, maybe 4.5 out of 10, but I think mainly a 4 out of 10 would be my rating for Fairmere. Next up is Wester Coast. Once again, another station that was upgraded in 1.8. Honestly, loads of stations were upgraded in 1.8, weren't they? A nice little waiting thing area here with a, a building that we didn't really have on the old. Okay, I thought I could jump that, but a nice little waiting area for the building that we didn't really have at the very old Wester Coast, as you can see. Another slightly curved platform, but obviously, it's not a nightmare like other stations, is it? Nice little tunnels over there, obviously going, further. A nice little kind of like village, kind of like town vibe here with, loads of shops being there and, obviously the residents being there. I kind of like the upgraded Wester Coast, and if I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it maybe a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I think that's the rating I'll give Wester Coast. Millcastle Racecourse is next. As you can see, another bit of a weird station design, like, having to come down, come all the way down here to then go all the way over here, and then you follow the path round and then up to the station. I kind of see this run being a bit pointless. Obviously a bit of an entrance to Millcastle Racecourse, which is quite nice given the sort of the vibe that it is, like a horse racing track or something like that. But yeah, obviously not really in terms not really as detailed as someone like Ascot or something. But still, a source that, it is a horse racing track or something like that. But in terms of the actual station, as that is what we are here to look at. Again, another station that was upgraded in 1.8. Yes, it is maybe a little bit better to what it used to be. They do need to fix that long walk, though, I would say. But if I had to give it a rating, I would probably give Millcastle Racecourse. It's probably not going to be high, maybe a 6 out of 10. I'd maybe give Millcastle Racecourse, but yeah, maybe just a 6 out of 10. But in my opinion, I kind of see Millcastle being a bit of a letdown to Millcastle Racecourse. I don't know why. I kind of just like the vibe of Millcastle Racecourse than Millcastle. I don't know why I think of that. I just do. And the rating that I'm going to have to give for Millcastle, probably a 5 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10. I'm feeling generous. I'll give Millcastle a 5.5 out of 10, but that's still way down than Millcastle Racecourse, which I think I gave like a 6 on. So yeah, I kind of do prefer Millcastle Racecourse over Millcastle, but I mean they're good stations regardless. And yeah, they're just what I think of both of those stations. West Wyvern now, a few more stations left to look at. So obviously a nice little timetable thing there with a few ticket machines. And obviously this is the kind of, thing. Again, a little bit of a narrow, tunnel, but not as narrow and short as, some other tunnels we've seen. 5 platforms here. We've got platforms 5 here. A 4 platform bay platform thing here, platforms 3 and 2 here, and obviously the platform 1. Obviously the only terminating platform being platform 3. Why am I so laggy here? Oh my gosh. But yeah, again, another station that's pretty good. Yes, it's probably not going to get a massive rating, but if I had to, but my rating for Millcastle, or not Millcastle, we've finished that. West Wyvern, sorry. My rating for West Wyvern, a bit tricky, maybe a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10 I think is what I'll say for West Wyvern. On to the final 3 stations, this one being Storylock. So once again, a nice information board. What's this? West Benton Pet Supplies, where your pets matter. Wow. A nice information board there, or like destination board thingamajig, whatever I've called it. A nice little signaling box here as well. Obviously, if you wanted to go ahead and signal here. Nice little, platform here. Again, not really massively detailed, but probably not even worth it. Obviously, the beach being all the way over there. But yeah, Storylock, another station that's, you know, pretty good. But yeah, not really a massive, like, detailed station in terms of actual rating. My rating for Storylock would probably be a 6 out of 10, I would say. On to North Shore now, the second to last station. I kind of like this kind of like the detail of the station, you know, like going out over here, obviously based off you know, a real life station that we saw in a recent SER stream that I didn't even think, you know, was a real life station, but it is. Obviously the destination boards there as well. Destination boards, that's what I called them. Obviously access to all of the platforms down here, all the way to platform 4. A nice little beach as well, which is very nice. And yeah, a nice little station. Obviously platforms 1 and 2 being platforms 1 and 2 use Express as well as Connect, but I think Connect mainly comes onto platform 3 and Express mainly is on platform 4. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, North Shore, pretty good station. It's very nicely detailed, I would say. So as a rating, I'll probably give North Shore maybe an 8 out of 10. You know, I kind of like the vibe of North Shore. 8 out of 10. And now my personal favourite station of SCR, Lynn By The Sea. Oh yeah, and honestly, the vibes I get of King's Cross to this station is honestly unbelievable. The full stations, all 11 stations. Honestly, it just gives me so many vibes of King's Cross, and honestly, I can't doubt this at all. It has to be a 9.5. The reason why I'm not going with a fully 10 is because if they had things at Lynn By The Sea that obviously resembled Harry Potter, you know, obviously with the platform 9 3/4 being at King's Cross, then I would probably bump it up to a 10. But obviously, you know, that is obviously down at Stepford Central. Kind of like, you know, the signaling things and stuff, and is, you know, very, very detailed. Probably a bit more detail could have been done, you know, here with, you know, some like information boards or something like that. Wouldn't have, you know, hurt to maybe have gone here, but they've decided to put it here instead. But yeah, obviously the platforms very much resemble King's Cross. Platform 0 again resembles King's Cross Platform 0 very well, as that is mainly what it is based off. And then obviously out here literally looks like, you know, the outside of King's Cross. Obviously in real life these buildings would not be here. There would be a McDonald's over here, I think. I've been to King's Cross a lot. I know exactly what it looks like. So yeah, Lynn By The Sea, my personal favourite. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. But do let me know what you think in the comment section below. And there we go. That is my sort of video rating all of the Connect stations. If you would like me to do this for a operator like Waterline or Airlink, then please let me know in the comment section below, and I will try and do it. Also, just want to mention as well that these ratings and opinions are based off my own feeling, so just bear that in mind. If you want to go ahead and make your own video, I'm not stopping you from doing your own video on rating SCR stations. Go ahead and do it. You don't even need to mention me in the video that I gave you the idea. Just go ahead and do it. Do what you want on SCR, and maybe I'll come on and maybe drop you a comment if I see one of your videos on it. But I just thought I'd like to mention that quickly as well. So that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Do let me know if you do have any like different maybe ratings or opinions in the comment section below. I would love to hear them. So make sure you go ahead and do that as well. Subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys in the next video or stream. But until then, take care and peace out.